where you're calling from, and you can also share with us kung saan company kayo nagtatrabaho so that we can get to know you better, and who knows, maybe we can also do some in-house trainings for you guys because we really, really are learning a lot here in Positive Workplaces, and we want to spread that culture in your offices. Yan, Joy, sino pa ang mga nasa chat box natin? Parang ang dami nang nag-message.
Oo nga, actually, Gabi. Ayan, si Marlo from Candelaria, Quezon. Ang layo. Tapos, si Janet naman from Rojas Capiz. Lepa from Negros Occidental. Si Chelsea from Iloilo. Nandito rin yung mga kasama natin from Always With You Foundation. Na si Marjorie.
Yes, hello.
Yan. Meron din tayo from the Lung Center of the Philippines, si Jessica. Hello po.
Yan, we're gonna start in a few minutes. So, be sure na you're already settled in your seats. And yun nga, kanina sinishare ko kay Joyce na we're gonna take a new approach in our webinars this afternoon. Kasi we feel na, di ba, it's already almost the end of the first quarter of the year. And maganda na we get to reflect on the different experiences that we had. So, we'd love for you to have a pen and paper with you. Kung hindi naman kayo pen and paper type of people, you can open a Word document. Pwede kayong mag-open ng notes nyo or kung saan man kayo nag-take ng notes. Basta make sure na malapit yun sa nyo para pag ginawa natin yung activity natin later, madali nyo siyang masusundan. Ayan, so grabe Joyce, ang daming new names talaga, no? But we're also seeing familiar ones. Pauline is also here. Parang matagal ka namin hindi nakita, Pauline. Hi! We're glad you have the time to join us today. So meron si Maria Cheryl from Wellness, Health, and Total Reward. Hi, Cheryl! We also have Janet from DSWD. Kamusta po kayo? Si Crisel from Butuan City. Grabe nun, talagang meron tayo from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, in different regional and field offices ng different government agencies. So we're really happy to have you here this afternoon. Mainit na po ba kung nasan kayo ngayon? Yun yung pinag-uusapan namin ni Joyce kanina. Gazelle is also here. We also have students, I think, joining us this afternoon. We have Gerald from Bulacan State University. Or at least kung hindi man kayo student, people from the academy are here. Meron din from Nether Region 2, from Bohol. Which is interesting tong topic natin this afternoon, no? Kasi parang palaging yun yung tanong natin na hanggang kailan nga ba tayo magtitiis?
Tama, Gabi. Parang sobrang nakakaano siya. Nakaka-trigger ng brain cells, ganon.
Yeah, and I hope na kung hindi man natin masagot yung hanggang kailan ka magtitiis, mas makapag-reflect tayo on what we value, what our strengths are, and paano tayo makaka-move forward, even with the pain that we experience in life. Kasi diba, apart from change, pain din is something unavoidable na nangyayari sa atin.
Yes, that's true, Gabi.
Yan, we have a lot joining from Always With You Foundation. Hi, Irene. We also have Richard joining us from Isabela, Negros Occidental. And Jezil also says good afternoon. Ayan, I think we can start, Joy. So, if ever there is the people who want to join us, you can still log in our meeting room. So kung nasa YouTube kayo, you can head on over here. In our meeting room, we still have space. But it's okay if your bandwidth doesn't allow it. You can stay on YouTube. And we'll make sure that you still get the same, or at least almost the same learning experience. Yeah, so again, good afternoon, everyone. And welcome to our second webinar this March, entitled Hanggang Kailan Ka Magtitiis, Acknowledging Pain and Growing from It. So for those who are joining us for the first time, we are positive workplaces. And we co-create cultures that enhance the well-being of the Filipino workforce. Ayan, na-excite na ako kasi gusto ko nang i-share sa inyo na we are able to do this because of what we call the positivity ripples. And that's the reason why kami ni Joyce, or at least our unit and the whole core team of Positive Workplaces, really invest in mounting these free webinars para lahat tayo may equal footing when receiving education about well-being, leadership, and positive psychology. So we believe na you start by leading yourself. By attending these webinars, natututunan nyo yung iba-ibang concepts about how you can lead others, how you can lead yourself through the knowledge and skills that you learn dito sa mga webinar na to. And when you are able to practice or na-apply nyo yung mga natuturo namin in the webinars, you're able to lead others. And alam mo yun, para talaga siyang ripple na pag nagsimula sa'yo, parang nakahawa na rin yung mga tao sa tabi mo. So when you are able to lead others, you are also able to lead cultures. And that's how we attain or how we make positive workplaces. So this March, let's talk about toxic positivity in the Filipino workforce or the Filipino workplace. And we've prepared 3 exciting topics for you. Last week, we were with Chewy, and we learned about nonviolent communication. So I hope na during the past week, you were able to practice nonviolent communication, yung observation. Sana naalala nyo ang difference ng isang observation at ang difference niya sa judgment. And then this afternoon, we're gonna talk about acknowledging pain and growing from it. And then next week, Liang is gonna be with us to talk about Filipino hope, we power, and why power. Ayan, Joyce, I think we're ready to have some reminders para maging smooth sailing yung session natin this afternoon.
Ayan. So some reminders, have another device or be ready to go to another link kasi we'll be using Menti. And prepare a paper and pen for an activity and for your learning as well. Kasi for sure marami yung share si Gabby sa atin later. And of course, we highly encourage engagement with the audience, but please be respectful in the chat. So nakikita naman po natin na respectful naman po yung halos lahat. So ayan.
Yes, ang saya din, di ba, Joyce, pag nakikita natin yung mga sharing nila sa chat kasi mas nagiging rich yung conversation natin dito.
And of course, for the evaluation form, it will only be issued at the end of the webinar for those in the Zoom room only. And always remember 10, check niyo po yung title. So yung title po ngayon is Hanggang Kailan Ka Magtitiis. Email, please provide your email and provide your correct email para hindi na po siya nagbabounce pa, ganyan. And also, write your name kasi hindi na po natin ma-edit yan kasi automatic po siyang generate. And for any concerns about evaluations or certificates, you may email us at engage@positiveworkplaces.org. And we will only be entertaining inquiries regarding evaluations and certificates up to 1 week after the event. So after the event po, mag-wait muna po tayo ng mga 2 to 4 hours kasi medyo marami pong uma-attend. So nagka-crash po talaga yung system. Pero sure naman po yan na mapupunta sa emails niyo.
Yes, and we're really trying our best. Hindi talaga kaya ni Google pag sabay-sabay na nagla-log in dun sa form. So kung nahihirapan man kayo mag-log in right after, so we're gonna open the form hanggang up to 30 minutes. Minsan nag-extend pa si Joyce, lalo na pag nakikita namin na nag-error yung Google form. So please bear with us and we hope na you will also get a smooth evaluation and certification process in the future. We're also working on that. Ayan, Joy. So I think we're all ready to start. Ready na ba kayo? Kung ready nga kayo, please type 1 in the chat box. Yan, si Mariel ready, si Carl Nico, si Charmaine. Ayan, I think everyone's ready. So we're now going to start. And we're going to start with our learning roadmap. Okay? So we're going to answer the questions. Why is acknowledging pain crucial for growth? What are the ingredients of growth? And how can we attain growth to flourish in the workplace? So again, we are gonna try a new format. Hindi naman siya new format, pero this is gonna be a very reflective activity. So we hope na you come prepared, bring your pen and paper with you, and syempre participate actively in our Menti because we really love to hear from you. And this session will be made more fruitful with your inputs in it. So tara na, sagutin na natin, why is acknowledging pain crucial for growth? And I want to throw this question to you. What has caused you pain at work? Okay? So I want you to reflect. It can be something that happened to you recently. It can be something that happened to you months or years ago, pero isa siyang very striking event na hindi mo makalimutan yung nangyari sa'yo in that particular event. So for example, siguro ang nakapag-cause ng pain sa akin was when I experienced burnout during the pandemic, lalo na nung 2021 when I was assigned a very big project and grabe yung naging workload ko. I know na there were people who were supporting me there, pero I also forgot na I also had my limits and I had to regularly replenish that energy that I have. So that was something that has caused me pain at work. So what about you guys? So you can join us on Menti. Pwede nyong i-scan yung QR code na nakikita nyo sa screen, or you can open a new tab, type in menti.com, and ilagay nyo yung code na 32428214, or you can just simply click on the link that Joyce posted on the chat box. So ayan, we have 19 answers, 20. We are around 341 in the room. I hope that you guys will be able to join us on Menti para makita natin kung ano ba yung mga common pain points natin as Filipino workers. Okay? So from what I can see, merong dealing with incompetent coworkers. So I thank you for sharing this kasi alam mo yung hindi natin minimin at hindi natin sinasabi na mas magaling tayo. But there are times na yung mga expectations natin or for that particular role, 'di ba, dun sa taong yon, hindi niya naaabot. And ang nangyayari siguro dito sa taong to is either sila yung sumasalo or nagkakaroon sila ng outputs na hindi at par dun sa gusto ng organization. So meron ding untrue without basis of evaluation. Yes, we always often, hindi naman always, pero like we hear this, hindi siya something new na nangyari. Talagang there are other organizations na yung basis nila for evaluation is not as objective as we want it to be. Meron namang privacy of violation of a colleague, politics in the workplace, this always happens. As in, it's a given. 'Di ba? Kahit i-try nating i-deny na meron at meron siyang nangyayari. It's part of our culture. Meron ding naka-relate na burnout. Meron naman nakalagay when I was neglected by my teammates. 'Di ba? Parang minsan, ikaw na pala yung madaming tasks, sa'yo naiwan yung madaming tasks, pero hindi nakita or walang nakakatch na, oh, maybe that person needed help. Meron namang limited communication, 'di ba? Parang hindi streamlined yung communication na nangyayari sa work, kaya napakahirap makipag-usap. Hindi mo alam. Kaya nga tayo nagbibigay ng mga communication courses, and even 'di ba last week we had Chewy teach you nonviolent communication because it's also something na you can think of at work. Meron naman nagsabi na lack of management support, salary is not competitive. 'Di ba lahat 'to na nararanasan natin at one point in our lives. And meron ding coworkers were not respectful of one's opinion or knowledge. So nakikita natin na merong lack of psychological safety, no? Pag yun yung nangyayari. So madami yung coworkers, mga katrabaho natin. Ito, I think, isa to sa mga damaging na when we experience not being heard. 'Di ba? Parang we don't feel like we belong and that our opinion matters in that organization. Ito rin yung isa kong ina-expect ngayong hapon na to na maraming oras na nasasayang dahil sa biyahe, 'di ba? At ang nangyayari, nagiging late siya and alam mo yun, kahit systemic yung problema ng traffic, nagre-reflect siya dun sa performance mo as an employee, 'di ba? And oo, nakakaubo siya ng oras. That's very valid and true, 'di ba? Ikaw yung naghirap sa project pero ibang tao ang na-credit, 'di ba? Tama, may mga times na yun yung nangyayari na yung ibang taong katrabaho natin, gusto lang nila parang ikaw yung work, pero pag nag-present sa boss, parang sila yung may pinakamalaking contribution dun sa trabaho na yun. Kaya it's very important to know the role of each one of you when it comes to that. May no recognition, demanding boss. Ayan, you can keep your answers coming. Ayan, meron technology burnout during the pandemic. Totoo to. 'Di ba parang may time na umabot na tayo sa tinatawag nating Zoom fatigue na sunod-sunod yung meetings natin. We didn't yet know how to take care of our well-being as we transition to the hybrid workplace setup or the virtual workplace setup. So ang dami, no? Talagang iba-iba yung mga nagiging causes. Pero iba-iba man siya, pero may makikita tayong mga common themes dun sa mga sagot nyo. So thank you for sharing that and I hope na you continue disclosing. So now we're gonna talk about pain. So nakita natin kanina yung mga different pain points, no, na naranasan nyo. So ano nga ba yung tinatawag nating pain? So pain is actually a signal that alerts you that there's a threat to your safety. Okay? It's a wake-up call or an alarm that tells us na, uy, there is something harmful that is happening or that your values are being threatened or ikaw mismo as a person, your dignity as a person, your worth as a person is also being threatened. Kaya makikita natin kanina, 'di ba, na pag hindi tayo na-recognize, parang yung competence natin hindi na-acknowledge, yung contributions natin hindi na-acknowledge. And that's what causes us pain at work. So we should treat these situations and we should be curious around these situations because these are actually signals that alert you that there's a threat to your safety. And ngayon, ang gusto kong i-throw na tanong sa inyo, how did you respond to this pain or what's causing the pain? Ikaw mismo ha, paano ka nag-respond dun sa pain na yon? So again, just stay on Menti. Joyce, share the code in the chat box. You can also type in the code or scan the QR code that you can see in your screen. Very interesting yung mga na-share nyo na nag-cause ng pain sa inyo. And these are really real pain points and pain points na even industrial and organizational experts have been sharing and dealing with. And imagine niyo na even after many years, it's still something na we all are trying to solve. So how did you respond to the pain or what's causing the pain? Ikaw mismo. Ako nung nangyari yun sa akin, ang ginawa ko is in-isolate ko yung sarili ko. Parang feeling ko mag-isa lang ako nung time na yun na nakakaisip nun. And it's sad kasi even if I know na I can do the job, parang ang lumabas pa is parang hindi ko kaya gawin yung trabaho ko. Okay, so let's see. We already have questions coming in, answers coming in now. Okay. So, may nagsabi tuloy lamang, 'di ba? Yun yung tatak natin, 'di ba, as Filipinos na we really show up. Meron din, we keep it to ourselves. And ito din yung lagi nating na ririnig na tanggapin natin kung ano yung pain na nangyayari. Ginawa ko rin to, yung sought help from a mental health professional, and I really commend you for knowing when you needed help, when you needed professional help already. Meron din tayong ignore since no reason will change the outcome. Totoo, di ba? Parang minsan kahit ilang beses mo nang ni-raise yung concern na yon, parang hindi naman napapakinggan. Like magmi-meeting tayo, sasabihin natin lahat ng mga sama ng loob natin or like kung ano yung kailangan ni-improve. Pero yung follow through or kung ano yung gagawin after ma-share yun, wala. 'Di ba? So parang nagiging helpless na tayo in the situation. So we just do what we can para makuha natin yung kailangan natin in that job. Ito, I think this is also very common in all workplaces. No, yes, 'di ba? We engage in storytelling, we rant para gumaan yung loob natin, and we share thoughts with coworkers. And sometimes it surprises us na they're also experiencing the same things that we do. And when we experience that, 'di ba? Parang nagkakaroon ng stronger bond between you and your coworker. Na hindi naman para pagchismisan, pero alam niyo yon, you are both fighting for the same value that you would like to see or the change that you would like to see. Ito naman, very proactive. Na they look for another opportunity and resigned when I was neglected and I could not take it anymore. So I want to highlight the courage na mag-resign ka kasi 'di ba, not everyone has that courage to let go of a job, lalo na kung meron kang something good na trabaho ngayon, 'di ba? Pero you were very brave and you were already taking active steps to solve that problem. Meron naman raise the concern to the office mancom. And this is actually good practice na kahit sabihin mo na at the end of the day, wala silang ginagawa, it's still a first step or it's still one step to have these concerns raised sa management committee na. Okay, so taking a break and do self-care activities. Meron din, di ba? Yes, it's very important to delegate. So nakakatuwa na it's a mix of may helpless, merong proactive, may iba kinikimkim nila, and merong iba naman meron din na iba na ang tendency naman nila is just resign to the fact na it's really just the fact of life. And it's so nice to see na merong mga very proactive, di ba? May mga time heals for doon sa mga taong hindi confrontational, pinilipas din yan. So may iba pinapalipas lang din nila. Ayan. So there is no right or wrong answer. Everything is very welcome here. This is a safe space for you. And hindi naman natin ipagkakalat, hindi rin namin malalaman kung sino yung nag-share nito. Okay. So kung yun yung reaction nyo, ano naman yung ginawa ng ibang tao? Hold on. Iba ang controls ni Zoom ni Mentimeter. Let me move on to the next question. The next question I want to pose to you is, ano naman yung ginawa ng ibang tao? How did others respond to the pain or what's causing the pain? So may isa, kanina sinabi na niya na ang nangyari sa kanila is hindi sila pinansin. Parang ganun pa rin naman yung nangyari. 'Di ba? Even if they tried to raise the question or raise the concern, walang nangyari. What about for others? How did other people around you respond to what's causing the pain or to the pain point that you identified kanina? So let's see. Ito, sinabi nila they feel the same way. Yung iba, yes, nagsasuccumb sila at napakain na lang, 'di ba? Parang ang naging ano natin is if you can't beat them, join them. Which is of course hindi rin yun tama, pero I understand kasi 'di ba kung ayaw mong sumakit yung ulo mo, like para mas hindi ka na lang ma-stress, parang let's just go with the flow. Although in the long run, it's your values, mararamdaman mo rin na okay, dadating ka rin sa point na babalik ka lang dun sa values mo na these activities are threatening my values. Yung iba naman, they don't care. Yung iba nagbe-blame shift, di ba? Parang ikaw yung nag-open, tapos binalik lang din sa'yo yung responsibility. Although alam mo din na maybe there was something in the system that needed to be changed. Yung iba wala lang, yung iba they were just there for you. Ayan, may iba, ignore na lang. They're apathetic. Yung iba, they sympathize for a moment. Pero tama, di ba? Parang we all come to a point na we are also helpless when it comes to those situations. Yung iba, tahimik lang, they take actions. So these are very interesting kasi may mga nag-emerge din sa atin na teams. And actually, di ba, parang as much as we like going to work because it gives us a sense of meaning, it helps, parang it is a tool for us to showcase our talents. It's a tool for us to gain money so that we can use them for our basic needs. Minsan, pagpunta natin sa work, 'di ba? We just try to stay positive. So ganyan na yung itsura natin. Although we wanna be genuine, everything else or what causes us pain at work causes us to be that way. So ang nakita kong nag-emerge na team kanina is ang reason kaya hindi na nagiging genuine yung positivity natin is that dumadating sa point na ang ginagawa natin pag meron tayong pain na nararamdaman is we either tolerate or tinitiis natin or we suppress or kinikimkim natin. Doon ba sa mga answers nyo or dun sa mga statements na nakikita nyo sa screen, nakaka-relate kayo dito na once in your life na sabihin kayo ng, or sinabi nyo to sa sarili nyo na pinili mo yan kaya tiisin mo. Or wala kang choice kasi kailangan mo yan gawin, which is true, di ba? Or pasalamat ka na lang may trabaho ka pa. Are these something that you've heard or kahit ikaw nasabi mo yan sa sarili mo at one point? Diba? Dapat kasi resilient ka, bounce back fast. Yung dulo, isa yan sa mga, yung last statement, isa yan sa mga sinasabi ko sa sarili ko na parang, ganun ba ako hina kasi hindi ako makapag-bounce back fast. So ito yung gusto nating i-address, di ba? Sinabi natin kanina na the theme this month is we want to address the toxic positivity in the workplace. And these are some of the things na not only do we hear from other people, but we also hear ourselves saying to ourselves, di ba? So nakikita ko na may mga ilan sa atin na parehong-pareho yung nararamdaman. At yan yung na papakita natin sa ibang tao or yun yung nag-end up na gumagawa natin. Pero ang sabi sa psikolohiyang Pilipino, actually, itong mga ginagawa natin to, yung tiis at kimkim, mali daw i-assume, kasi sabi ko dati, pag ito yung ginagawa natin or ginagawa ng ibang tao, parang hindi na natin pinapansin kung ano yung mali or ano yung dapat baguhin. Pero nung nagbasa ako about it, when I dug deeper about these concepts in psikolohiyang Pilipino, sinabi dito na it's wrong to assume na pag sinabi to ng isang Pilipino ay pinapabayaan na lang natin yung gawa natin or pinapabayaan na lang natin yung nagkukos dun sa pain natin. Because actually, ang tendency nating mga Pilipino ay bukod sa magtiis tayo at magkimkim tayo, hindi talaga tayo verbally expressive ng emotions natin whenever we get triggered. Ang nangyayari usually is meron tayong mga non-verbal cues, 'di ba? Or nagpapahiwatig tayo sa ibang tao na either masama yung loob natin or meron tayong hindi magandang nakita. So feeling ko yung mga pahiwatig natin minsan yung mapapansin mo na, uy, dati naman parang maingay to, bakit ngayon hindi na siya masyadong nagsasalita? O kaya 'di ba, may iba na dati iikot pa siya sa office pero once na parang hindi na address yung concern niya, makikita mo na nandoon na lang siya sa cubicle niya instead of relating with other people. So we Filipinos express or gano'n natin pinapakita yung mga emotional responses natin. So nagpapahiwatig tayo and at the same time nakikiramdam tayo dun sa mga taong nasa tabi natin, 'di ba? So para siyang play, para siyang dance na may magpapahiwatig, may makakaramdam ba nung pinapahiwatig niya. And it will just go in a circle. So it's just gonna be a cycle. At ang nangyayari din, actually, when we experience pain, hindi tayo actually nagtutuloy-tuloy sa galit agad. So may stages, we actually react in a stepwise manner. So una magtatampo tayo whenever expectations are not met by someone na feeling natin would know us better. 'Di ba? Tapos kung hindi talaga ma-address 'yon, or hindi siya magpapaliwanag, hindi tayo napansin, doon na tayo nagkakaroon ng hinanakit. And long term, nagiging sama na siya ng loob. Tapos pag punong-puno na tayo, doon siya lumalabas at galit. And yun yung gusto nating maiwasan, na imbis na kimkimin natin sa loob yung pain, although these are the steps na we usually take, maybe pwede na natin siyang harangan pa lang, parang kung tampo or hinanakit pa lang siya, ma-address na natin siya. Because if we continuously do this, ang nangyayari is we actually experience more mental health concerns, di ba? We get anxious, we get challenges in our emotional regulation, or minsan nagkakaroon na tayo ng physical health issues, di ba? Dito na pumapasok na bakit parang palaging feeling ko naninikip yung dibdib ko or tumataas yung blood pressure ko. Pero wala ka namang sakit, wala kayong hypertension. Pero it's the stress na dahil hindi natin ma-express yung pain na pinagdadaanan natin, kaya ganun yung nangyayari. And pag nasa workplace tayo, makikita nyo na there's an increase in absenteeism o kaya naman hindi na sila nagpe-perform at par with how they used to perform. And pwede rin tayong magkaroon ng burnout. They can also isolate themselves. And at worst, pwede tayong umabot sa mga substance abuse issues. Diba? So nakikita natin na si Mary, nararamdaman din daw niya yon. Si Ferdinand, sinabi niya na pag naipon nga yung sama ng loob, diba? Biglang sasabog, hindi mo alam kung ano yung nag-trigger. Tapos bigla siyang sumabog, hindi proportion yung reaction niya dun sa actual na nangyayari or like kung dun sa pinag-uusapan nyo. Pero yun pala, it's because nagpatong-patong na at matagal nang nangyayari yun. 'Di ba? So ayan, yung isa naman sabi ni Mike, tama, or kain ka ng kain. 'Di ba? So it can go both ways. Minsan yung iba nawawalan sila ng gana, yung iba naman, mas ginaganahan silang kumain. So, tandaan nyo yung ladder na yan because again, it's important to know kung asan ka na. So, in the state, dun sa mga pain points na nabanggit nyo kanina, isipin nyo, nasan kayo dito sa stepwise pattern na to. So that, kung nasan ka mang stage, magawa na siya ng paraan bago pa siya umabot dun sa galit na mariregret pa natin kung ano yung pwede natin gawin pag galit tayo at that heightened state. Okay. But yeah, that's true. We're not accustomed to confrontation. That's very true. Kasi 'di ba, meron tayong mga values of hiya. We have values of pakikiramdam and we have the value of kapwa, 'di ba? Na we will always put other people before us. Na dapat yung kapakanan muna nila yung mauuna kaysa sa atin. So yan, as HR personnel, sabi naman ni Mary, most of the time, we lack appreciation sa management. Kahit ginawa mo na yung lahat, 'di ba? But yeah, pero kung titingnan natin, what I can hear from you, Mary, is that you want that appreciation. You want, everyone has that innate need to feel appreciated, 'di ba, by the things that they do for the organization. Kasi lahat naman kayo, 'di ba, kung ikaw wala, hindi gagana yung organization nyo. So ayan, meron accumulated na, ang tagal na nilang nararamdaman yun. Si Carla sinabi nasa quiet quitting stage, yung iba nag-send na ng resignation letter para ma-discuss yung initiation. Or minsan nga wala na yung resignation letter or effective immediately. 'Di ba? So we have to have that balance na even if we're non-confrontational, as people, we have those values. We also have to balance it so that, 'di ba, pwede naman siyang sabihin in a way na hindi rin siya offensive and in a way na mapaparating mo rin kung ano yung need mo. So that's why we started with nonviolent communication. So now, gusto kong tanungin, malinaw ba kung bakit importanteng i-acknowledge natin yung pain? Can you type in 2 in the chat box if you don't have any questions? And we can move forward. Ayan. So most of you are typing 2 in the chat box. So now we can proceed to what? What are the ingredients or elements of growth? Okay. So sabi nila, according to the research of Tedeschi and Calhoun, sinabi nila na when individuals are faced with trauma, pain, or unintentional change, the responses may be Una, pwede silang mag-succumb dun sa stressor. And dito natin nakikita na nag-rise yung iba-ibang mental health concerns na meron tayo. Okay, so that's the first pathway. Na pag na-overwhelm yung coping mechanisms natin, we succumb to the pain or the stressors that we're feeling. And that's okay because professional help is available. And alalahanin natin na hindi tayong lahat equal footing when it comes to coping resources. Some of us may have more, some of us may have less. Kaya it is important to be empathic towards these people at intindihin natin how we can help them as well. And yung susunod naman is merong iba na when they experience pain, yes, they go down, they feel down, but they are able to go back, no, to that either previous state nila or they establish a sense of stability or they go back to baseline functioning. And that is what we call recovery or being resilient. And dito tayo usually nababrand as Filipinos, di ba? Mabilis tayong mag-bounce back. Pagkatapos ng isang sakuna, maglilinis lang tayo, papasok na natin lahat ng gamit sa bahay, and then babalik na tayo kung paano tayo before. But recent studies have shown na there is actually another pathway or meron pang isang pinupuntahan ng mga tao whenever they experience pain or different stressors, and that is what you call growth. Okay? And yan yung pag-uusapan natin ngayon. When we say growth, it is about experiencing higher levels of functioning than before, okay, we experience that particular pain. And the ingredients of this particular growth is, I want you to remember the acronym SOAR. So S-O-A-R-S. SOARS pala. Okay, pakitype ngayon if na-gets nyo, SOARS. S-O-A-R-S. Ayan. Okay, so first we have strength. And then next we have openness to possibilities. Next, we have appreciation for life. Next, there is relating to others. And then there is spiritual change. Okay? So, S-O-A-R-S. So, may nakita ko dito, sabi ni Danica, S-A-U-R-S. Hindi siya NAR, pero I get you, girl. S-O-A-R-S. Okay, so let's go through them one by one. So, whenever we feel pain and then we experience growth, ang nangyayari sa atin first, hindi to stepwise ha. Ginawa ko you can develop each element or each ingredient independently of one another. Pero i-discuss natin isa-isa sa kung ano ba yung nangyayari. So when we experience that kind of growth, there's strength. Now we become better version of ourselves. First, by knowing our strengths. So kung may mga nag-exist ka ng strength, nagagamit mo siya doon. And when we are faced with those painful moments, minsan may nadidiscover pa tayong ibang strength natin na hindi natin previously alam na meron pala tayo or kaya natin. And ang nangyayari is we incorporate that with what we have learned in that particular situation. Okay, so halimbawa, nung nakagkaroon ako ng burnout, hindi ko alam na strength pala yung relatedness, na when you are able to connect with other people and ask help from other people, that is also a form of strength. Okay? So yun yung strength. So next is openness to possibilities. We expand our horizons and we become open to doing things in a new way. Okay? So when it comes to describing growth or how we experience growth, we are being open to new possibilities. Parang hindi na tayo dekahon mag-isip, but as much as possible, or like, ang nangyayari is, mas nag-expand yung kaalaman natin sa mundo. Kaya nagtithink tayo outside the box on how we can improve our situation or how we can live better after that pain. And then next is we have appreciation for life. So, ito yung, ang nangyayari naman dito is, we think of how we can make the most out of our limited time here on earth. So parang dati kung hindi mo sinesavor yung morning cup of coffee mo, when we experience growth, we are extra attentive to these kinds of things. When we spend time with other people, mas present tayo, hindi tayo nagpo-phone. Or when other people come to us with problems, we give them our full attention and we empathize with them. We take time to hear what they are saying, to comfort them if they need, or kung ano man yung state nila na kailangan nila at that moment. And then next is relating to others. We are better able to relate with others, may it be with friends, family, or coworkers. So kanina nakita ko, di ba, na one of the ways that you were able to respond is that kung mausap ka ng coworker mo and hindi mo alam na pareho pala kayo ng pinagdadaanan, and yun yung naging way para mas maging close kayo, or like that pain spurred that relationship between the coworkers. And then next is, or last, is spiritual change. Now, we all go back to our belief in something bigger in ourselves. So, dito tayo napapa-reflect ng meaning natin. And even as Christians, di ba, ang tendency natin is we often go to God or the higher being that we believe in. Tapos we are more thankful. We ask for His guidance and His wisdom so that we will be able to move forward as we experience that level of growth. Okay? So clear ba? Clear yung source? If clear, can you type 3? So source is strength, openness to possibilities, appreciation in life, relating to others, and spiritual change. So tandaan nyo yan, ang ingredients ng growth ay source. Okay, and syempre ngayon gusto nating malaman, paano ba natin gagamitin yon? How can we attain growth to flourish in the workplace? So using this framework, and in this conversation that we're having right now, I want you to remember that growth happens when there is a shift in mindset that spurs us to action. Okay? And to be able to do this, we are going to engage in a reflective activity so that we can facilitate that shift in mindset regarding that painful situation that we all thought about at the beginning of this session. So, ready ba kayo? Pakilabas na yung pen and paper nyo and open your note-taking apps because we are going to engage in writing. Okay? So, we are going to do letter writing this afternoon so that we can reflect, lalo na, diba, very timely kasi kakatapos lang, matatapos na yung first quarter. So, ito na yung mga panahon na nagre-review tayo sa mga companies natin kung ano ba yung ginawa natin good for the quarter. And it's also nice to practice that in ourselves. So I love how Greater Good Science Center worded the reason why writing is actually a good practice whenever we try to experience or whenever we try to shift our mindset to actually attain that growth. So sinasabi dito na through writing, we can become active creators of our own life stories rather than passive bystanders. Okay? And actually, in narrative therapy and personal experiences, we also encourage yung mga individuals to engage in meaning making or making meaning out of their experiences by reflecting on their own stories. And when we do that, when we ask you to reflect on your own stories, ano ba yung mga naging support, ano ba yung mga strengths na lumabasan nyo, it actually helps us gain that deeper understanding of ourselves. Diba? Parang minsan kasi dahil nga kinikimkim at tinotolerate at nire-repress natin itong mga bagay na to or hinahayaan lang natin sila, wala tayong oras para ma-process siya. So ito yung isa sa mga ways kung paano natin pwedeng ma-process at makilala pa yung sarili natin. Okay? And when we are able to uncover those inner resources, di ba? Meron din tayong mga external resources naman na nakikita. Okay? Yun nga, now we are really able to discover the different resources we can draw on in life. And then last is we are able to reframe our view. So kanina, diba, parang may usapan tayo na confrontational. Paano ba natin ito lulutasin? Kailangan ba pag-uusapan natin siya? When we are engaging in this meaning-making or writing activity, dito lumalabas na we give ourselves a safe space to explore different possibilities or different options. kaya tayo may pag-reframe ng view. Kasi baka mamaya meron palang ibang mga ways na pwede nating i-engage para malutas yung problem na yon. But of course, okay, ayoko rin na hindi pala sa ayoko. What I want you to realize is that whenever we reframe our view, we can also reflect on ano ba yung mga systems that can be affecting yung mga choices natin at that particular situation. Kasi 'di ba minsan sinasabi nga nila na wala namang nagbabago eh, which is true. Pwedeng mangyari yon because the system you are in is not open to that change. And what we want to happen is either we try to effect that change, or kung hindi man yun mangyari, 'di ba? Then maybe it's time to think of other options, get perspective from other people so that we will be able to move towards that growth that we want to achieve. So okay, if ready na kayong lahat, type 4. Kung meron na kayong pen and paper, pen and paper, pen and paper, please type 4 because we are now going to start with our activity. Okay, so I want you to think back to the pain you identified at the beginning of the session. Okay, so just think back on that, reflect, put that in mind. And the first step of this activity is actually what I've also shared with you in one of our webinars before. It's about feeling the pain. Okay, so sometimes you're so afraid of our emotions na hindi natin ino-open yung door to let the emotion in and get curious around it. Diba? So imagine ninyo na if those emotions, sabi nga natin, diba, it's important to acknowledge the pain. So imagine if your emotions are stored in the dark closet where you can't see it. It's possible na it seems scarier or difficult to manage kasi hindi naman natin alam at hindi natin nakikita yung buong extent ng emotion na yon. But when we get curious around it instead of hiding it, na pag tinago pa nga natin, mas lumalabas siya in hindi mas magandang way. As nakita natin kanina, di ba? Nagiging sama ng loob, nagiging galit. Okay? So maybe what we're facing is not something bad at all. Or it's something na outside of us. Okay? So kung hindi man ganyan ka-cute yung emotion na piniface nyo, it's still important to face that emotion, even if it's challenging, so that once you know what you're up against, you know what to do. Okay? Ayan. So, para siyang sugat, di ba? Pag meron tayong sugat, pag nasugatan ka, halimbawa nagka-paper cut ka sa opisina o kaya nagkamali ka, na sobrahan yung habang nagluluto, di ba, na ano mo siya, na daanan mo yung daliri mo. So, it's important na ma-recognize mo na andun siya, lilinisan mo siya para malaman mo kung gaano kalalim or gaano kalaki. Kasi baka mamaya kailangan na pala siyang tahiin. Pero binaliwala mo lang. Sabi mo, hindi yan masakit. So, mag-bleed out ka or like magkakaroon ng infection. So, ganun din dun sa mga emotional pain na nararamdaman natin. We should be curious around them. And the next step is we should accept it or acknowledge it. And we do it by these 3 things. So first, we soften, we allow, and we label. So let me go through all 3. So when we say softening in the accepting part, it's about accepting the bodily manifestations of the pain that we experience. So halimbawa, when I experienced burnout, I really felt the pain bodily dito sa nape ko. Sino dito yung mga palaging parang nandito yung stress nila na pag pinindot nyo, sobrang tigas ng muscles dito. Ayan, si Grace daw, ganun din yung nararamdaman niya, pati si na Eunice. 'Di ba? Tapos mamaya pag huminga ka, dun mo mararamdaman na, ito talaga, dito nagsusstore yung most ng pain. Or pag nasa stress ako. So I want you to be curious around it. So let's do a quick body scan. So for some people, they feel their stress or their pain dun sa head area nila. Some have very bad migraines, 'di ba? Some have, minsan umiinit yung tenga nila, umiinit yung cheeks nila. Kasi dun nila most nararamdaman yung pain. Yung iba katulad ko dun sa may nape area or shoulder area, it really gets bad. Yung iba naman sa upper arm or sa chest, di ba minsan parang naninikip yung dibdib nyo, pero wala ka namang sakit sa puso, pero dun mo nararamdaman yung pain na yun. And some, nasa tiyan sila, di ba? May iba, mahirap makatulog sa gabi. Yeah. So sige, dahil parang mata yung ano natin pag nakakatulog. May hirap matulog sa gabi. Yung iba naman sa tiyan, di ba? Kanina sinabi natin na yung iba parang hindi gutom, yung iba parang palaging gutom. And yung iba, nagmamanifest sila na they have to go to the washroom more often. Diba? When they experience stress. Yung iba naman nasa legs. So nagkakaroon ng stiffness or different aches and pains in our legs. And some of it, even feel it in our feet. So share ko lang when my partner also experienced one of the stressful moments during her training. May time talaga na parang hirap siyang maglakad. So we can't explain it. Ang dami ng tests na ginawa sa kanya. Akala nila viral. May mga nilagay pang yung tinest electrical conduction dun sa legs niya. Wala talaga silang makita. Pero when she was able to rest and really put her mindset on her training and identify kung ano yung mga nagtitrigger nun, it became better. She was able to walk properly again. So it's important to engage in those, like accepting it, allowing it, softening. Like ikaw mismo, pansinin mo kung saan mo siya na-feel. And then next, what we want you to do is to allow that in. Okay, so imagine your pain as a cloud and witness them as you would looking at clouds. Di ba? Yung clouds naman dumadaan lang siya. So the pain is not inside you, but the pain is actually just a signal. And when you encounter that signal, just notice it, feel it, and then allow it to pass. Okay? It comes and goes. And now that you've done the scan and na parang na-relieve mo na yung sarili mo of the initial tension when you feel that pain, you have to go back, or you can use this tool, yung emotion sensation wheel, so that you will be able to name the emotion that you are feeling. So katulad nung time na babalikan ko yung example ko na when I felt that burnout, I was actually irritable. So sabi ko, mas madalas akong magsungit nung time na yon. And I was really turning away. Nagpapalpitate din ako katulad ni Lloyd Ryan. So I was actually feeling anger, diba? Maybe it was anger towards myself because I cannot show up fully for the work that I was doing because of the burnout. Or maybe it was also anger because, diba, yung system na dapat na nagsusupport sa akin, I wasn't also able to get support from that. Okay? So, you have different emotions, yung 6 core emotions natin, and you can just simply look at ano ba yung nararamdaman nyo at the current moment, dun sa outer part ng wheel. And then go inside to see what you're feeling and then narrow it down to the emotions. So, yun nga katulad kanina sinabi ko, anger yung nararamdaman ko. So, sa inyo, what was it like for you? So Joyce will be sharing the Mentimeter link, and I want you to pin on the image that you can see on the screen. Okay? Alin dito yung nararamdaman nyo nung regarding dun sa pain na shinare nyo kanina? So ito yung QR code, ito yung number code niya, 32428214. Okay, and just go to menti.com. So tingnan natin kung nasaan yung mga nararamdaman nyo. So yung iba, they were feeling hateful. Yung iba, babalik ako kasi natakpan, hindi ko yun napansin. Yung iba, they were feeling hurt. Yeah, that's true. So makikita nyo, it was mostly anger, may fear. Tama, no? Kasi di ba yung sinabi na there are some bosses na parang abusive na, diba? It's really different for each one of us. We interpret yung experiences natin differently and we feel them differently. Ayan, so just pin So there are some, they felt abandoned, some felt depressed, some really felt sadness, no? Parang madaming, based lang dun sa dots, there are a lot who are feeling angry. And it's also nice to see na there are actually some who actually felt courageous at that point. Diba? Tapos meron, they were already feeling light. Ayan, si Ferdinand naman, they felt worthlessness at that, with that painful experience. Okay, so thank you for sharing that. And now that we have identified what we're feeling, I'd like you to join me for a quick breathing activity. Okay, so that we can calm ourselves down and feel the pain and let go of it at the same time. So I want you to breathe out in 4, hold it in 4, breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4, breathe out for 4. Let's do another round. So hold, breathe in for 4, hold, and then breathe out in 4 seconds. Ayan. So I hope na even if we were even if negative emotions, yung iba nating na-pinpoint kanina, mas nakalma na kayo with the breathing exercise. You can even do more of those on your own time. But now we're going to engage in the writing activity. And what I want you to do, or what I want you to feel during this activity is similar to what you are seeing on the screen right now. Na even as we felt all those pain, we went through that pain, what we want na as we write down yung painful experience na yon, and as we facilitate this session, malilipat yung negative emotions, malilipat yung painful experiences, and we can make sense of that experience through writing it down on paper. Okay? So if you're ready, let's start. Can you click 5? Can you send in 5 sa chat if you guys are ready? So sakto tayo sa time. Ayan. Okay, so I hope you have your pen and paper with you. And we will now start writing our letter. Okay, so let's do this together. Meron din akong pen and paper dito. So there will be prompts to guide you and we will go through them one by one. So don't worry, wag kayong kabahan. Pwede kayong mag-English or mag-Tagalog. Pwedeng hindi nyo sundan yung prompt. Pero para lang mas madali para sa nyo na mag-fill out nung spaces, pwede nyo rin siyang sundan. Okay? So as we go through them, bibigyan namin kayo ng 4 minutes each to write on your paper, and maririnig nyo yung bell to signal that we will be moving to the next prompt. Pag natapos kayo, bago mag-ring yung bell, pwede nyo nang mag-thumbs up kayo or mag-raise hand kayo para alam namin. So if that majority of you are done, we can already move to the next prompt. Okay? And as you write, imagine na the person writing is someone who loves you and accepts you unconditionally for who you are. Okay? So kung hindi man ikaw yun, mag-isip ka ng friend, mag-isip ka ng ibang tao na would give you that compassion, that will show you that compassion as we go through the prompts. Okay? So, simulan na natin. So for the first step, lagyan nyo ng dear at your name. Lagyan nyo yung pangalan nyo, hindi your name yung ilalagay nyo. On the upper left-hand corner of your paper. Okay, so I'll give you 10 seconds to write down dear. And let's start with the letter to yourself. Okay, and the first prompt is that we are going to think of a situation that has caused you pain. So pwedeng yun yung kanina nating ginamit, yung shinare nyo sa amin kanina. And the prompt you can use is remember when you felt ... Okay, ano yung na-feel nyo during, then ilagay nyo kung ano yung naging time nung, or ano yung nangyari during that time. So it can be something that happened a long time ago, or something very recent, and as much as possible, related to something that happened to the workplace. Okay, it can be something that happened to you, or something na you did not get or receive. So kanina 'di ba sinabi natin may mga hindi na hindi sila na appreciate, hindi na recognize yung efforts nila or hindi sila na mentor. Okay? And on your paper, you can start off using the prompt or you can use your own words to describe what happened during that situation. Okay? So, I'm gonna play the music now. And if you're done, please type in a thumbs up icon or pwede nyo i-raise yung hand nyo. Tapos are sharing. I lost motivation to live. So, kasi dito tapos na siya. Ayan, there are already two who if you're done, please send us a thumbs up icon. And I also showed you an example sa chat box if you need an example. Fine, sinasabi nila na they overwork, lost self-motivation. Huwag kayong ma-pressure kung gusto nyo mag-Tagalog, pwede rin. Paano ba Tagalogin mo? Naaalala mo pa ba? Hindi ganon. Noong pandemic, nakaranas ako ng burnout. At napansin kong galit-galit ako sa mga tao. Okay, so a lot of you are already raising. Give this time for you to reflect. Just put the thumbs up icon if you're already done. Give yourself the space to think of things. And huwag kayong ma-conscious kung mali yung sinasabi mo, kung mali yung grammar. At ang importante, malabas mo kung ano yung sinulat nyo kanina or yung nararamdaman nyo. Marami ng po. Okay, then let's get to the next one. Okay, so the next thing I want you to think about are the stumbling blocks or obstacles you encounter dun sa situation na yon. So, isipin nyo, ano yung sa tingin nyo nakapag-hinder sa nyo or kung ano yung nag-cause dun sa experience na yon. Pwede nyong kumpletuhin yung statement na you faced obstacles such as or naranasan ko itong mga balakid na to. Okay, so ang example sa akin, dun sa, itutuloy ko yung letter ko simula kanina na you faced obstacles such as your heavy workload in the limited 24 hours a day that you have. Again, you can use your own words. Feel free to use the language or dialect you are most comfortable with. Okay, so let's start again. And kung tapos na kayo, just put a thumbs up. Let me just type my example para rin makita nyo sa chat. And share my example. Almost done. Lisa is done din. Okay. Cheryl is done. So you have 3 more minutes. Pero kung marami na kayong tapos, you can move on to the next prompt. And huwag kayong ma-pressure, pwede nyo siyang ituloy dun sa susunod. You can okay. Ayan, I think a lot of you are done. So let's move on to the next prompt. Okay? So ngayon naman, let's identify the strength. Okay? So reflect on the strengths you use to help yourself overcome or make a win out of that situation. Okay? What qualities do you have which help you get through the stumbling blocks? So pwede nyong gamitin yung prompt na you made use of your strengths specifically. So, i-share ko sa inyo yung example ko. You made use of your strengths, specifically asking help from others to guide you through things you do not know, prioritizing what needs urgent attention and what can be done later, and accepting the work that you can do at the present. Okay, so those were my strengths. So you can start putting in your strengths. Si Ferdinand, shinare niya na difficulty in getting a job yung obstacle, pero he never gave up. So there was persistence, there was perseverance. Si Liza naman, she learned how to boost her confidence. Si Rizalia naman sinabi niya, she believed in herself. Di ba yun yung isa din sa pinaka-importante na you also believe in yourself na kaya mong gawin. Si Ferdinand, engineer din niya na maghanap ng alternative sources of income. Tama, di ba? Kasi parang ngayon, ang uso na yung may gig ka apart dun sa ginagawa mong full-time job. And Rita's done. Si Anna naman, treat myself as a person with value. Yes, that's very important as well. Dahil sa'yo talaga, di ba, super leading the self yung approach niya. Si Lovely naman, trusting to God. Actually, spirituality is also a strength, a character strength. Lalo na if it's beyond your control. And si Amparo naman, dapat kayanin. So there's also that determination, persistence. Si Ferdinand din, if you're done, just put in a thumbs up. We can move into the next. May isa nang nag-raise ng hand. Okay, Charlene is done. Cheryl is also done. Ariel is also done. Ayan. So you can I'll give you a full 2 minutes. Tapos you can continue it again later on. Para we also have time for our questions. Okay, so may mga nakapag-share na nung strengths nila kanina. So kung gusto nyo lang magdagdag, pwede nyo siyang ilagay sa Menti. But I love that you were already sharing it in the chat box. Ayan. Meron naman, seek professional advice from professional people. That's true. Pwede kang magpa-mentor. Open to communication. Kasama rin yung pagiging hopeful and prayerful kay Ophelia naman. Ayan. So thank you for sharing those strengths with us. And then next is, we're down to the last 2 or 3 na lang to. Okay, so of course, kapwa is important. So reflect on who were the people who helped you in that situation, no matter how well you know them or not. So ang importante is na-recognize mo yung tulong or ano yung role na plinay nila in that painful situation. So for me, I was supported by one of my friends, Joselle, who I used to work with. So every time na kailangan ko ng space or magli-leave ako, she will make time dun sa hours niya para ma-protect din yung breathing time ko tsaka yung leave time ko. So para siyang naging saluhan na system sa aming dalawa. And my partner was also there na dadala niya akong pagkain pag alam niyang nasistress na ako or nilalabas niya ako ng bahay, like iikot kami. Noong time pa naman na yun, bawal lumabas, di ba? So magda-drive around lang kami. So pag I need a breather, she was there. Ayan, so you can share who supported you in the chat box and you can also use the prompt you were supported by in your letters. But I love na people are also sharing who they were. Ayan, ito yung sa strengths. Tapos pwede nyo ring i-share kung who supported you. Okay? So meron sina Marie Bernice, si partner, si Raymond, yung close friends niya. Si Bernice kasama din yung head and office mates, pati prayer group kasama. Ayan. Pero yes, Joselito, I also recognize na yung ibang kapwa na hindi nakikipagkapwa, ang nangyayari naman is nagkahadron lang ng chismisan, which is also not good. Although it's our culture, pero sana positive chismis or marites din yung ginagawa natin. And I think most of the times, di ba yung family and close friends din yung nakakatulong sa atin. Si Charmaine naman ang sinabi niya, yung mga page sa Facebook, di ba, you don't know who shares those quotes, positive quotes, pero nakakatulong yung mga sinishare nila para maintindihan mo din or mapapagaan yung loob mo dun sa pinagdadaanan. Si Jed naman, si God, I appreciate na you really are in touch with your religion or what you practice. So that's also very good. Si Genevieve naman, my church mates and my close friends. Okay, so down to the last 2. So our second to the last prompt is solution. So ngayon naman na reflect nyo yung mga nasulat nyo na, ano yung ginawa nyo, ano yung nangyari, and ano yung mga strengths and challenges or paano nyo nagamit yung strengths nyo dun sa challenges na yun. So, what I want you to do is i-try nyong i-apply na if you were to face a similar situation, okay, how would you use what you have learned through this pain in the future? So, pwede nyo gamitin yung prompt na in the future, you can make use of this experience to help you ... Okay? So, sa akin, it was to overcome the dread and anxiety you face whenever it feels like you have a lot to do in a small amount of time. Okay? Or whenever something feels like it is too big for you to handle. So, yan yung isa yung pwedeng closing, pwedeng it's a solution na like how are you going to use it in the future? Or pwede ring shift. 'Di ba sabi natin kanina na we are open to new possibilities when we are experiencing growth. So, you can use the prompts, what needs to change? What options are available to you so that you can brainstorm, no? Na ano ba yung mga new perspectives na pwede kong makuha? And how can I expand my worldview at that? So you can use the prompt, maybe you can consider. So nagsulat din ako kanina na nung time na yon siguro, maybe I can consider upskilling. Kasi part of my job that time was to do budget sheets na hindi ko naman talaga alam kung paano gawin. And it really caused me a lot of stress. So maybe when I am faced with a similar situation, I can upskill. I can learn how to do that. I can learn new skills. Yung iba naman, I can even talk with my supervisor. So, sabi nga natin na maybe there's a time na hindi sila makikinig, pero I think it's also a big step na you were able to express and you were able to share with them kung ano yung naging experience mo. Ayan. So, si Ana sinabi niya, avoid red flags and talk. Yes, di ba? If you already know na there are red flags in that particular situation, know them and learn from them. And also learn how to communicate. Si Ferdinand sinabi niya, huwag mahiyang tumulong. Hindi kabawasan ng pagkatao ang paghingi ng tulong. Totoo yun. And para sa mga katulad ko, late ko nang nalaman na isa pala yung magandang strength din. So si Joselito naman, every difficulty has a solution or several solutions. Choose the best. Apply root cause analysis. That's true. Diba? And nadadaan yun when we communicate, when we also reflect. Ayan, I love the learnings that's coming in. Yung isa naman, self-love, tama. Diba? We have to learn how to set our boundaries para we also don't end up extending ourselves just to please other people. I love that, Mariel. Si Lovelyn naman, wag na wag lang din masyado mag-absorb ng mga negativities. That's true. Parang learn how to filter. Na alam kong mahirap siya, pero it's also a good skill to learn how to filter. Of course, as in our culture, prayer is also something that really helps and also extend help to other people. Ayan, and when you're done, that's your letter. I want you to sign it off. So pwede na rin natin hindi sagutin yung last mentee because I love the answers that you gave in the chat box. So just a quick review. Ito yung pwede nyong gawing screenshot and maybe we can share with you a handout. Let's see if we can upload one para you can have a format of the letter para you can do this regularly na, 'di ba? Parang if you experience pain or there's a difficult experience na you want to process, this is something that you can do. So you have to identify the situation. Ano ba yung mga stumbling blocks? What are the strengths and support that helped me? Ano yung pwede kong solution para the next time na I encounter this problem, meron na akong bagong solution for them. And of course, yung shift. Ano ba yung mga kailangang magbago? Or ano yung mga pwede kong gawing bago para solusyonan tong mga future problems or current problems na kinakaharap ko? Okay, so did you find that helpful? Did you find this exercise helpful? Ayan, sabi ni Churchill, yes, sina Lisa, sina Janet din. So keep that letter para meron na kayong guide, okay? Meron kayong guide kung paano nyo pwedeng i-process yung difficult situations or like kailangan nyo lang talagang ilabas or alam niyo yun, to put all the feelings that you have on paper. That's very good practice as well. Okay, so now to close. So through writing, we can become active creators of our own life story. So ito yung sinabi ko kanina, di ba? Rather than passive bystanders. And actually, as a result, we feel more empowered to cope with those challenges. So I hope na as we close this, as we wrote our letters and reread those letters, we felt empowered and we felt how we can grow through the pain or through acknowledging the pain that we feel. Okay, so ayan. Joyce, I think we're ready. That's the end of our session today. So we're ready to give you a chance to do some question and answers. So if ever you have questions, you can send them in over Pigeonhole, or kung gusto nyo naman i-share yung questions nyo with everyone, you can also put them here sa ating chat box. I love the conversation. Ayan. I love the conversation that we had in the chat box. So if ever you have questions, may follow-up questions kayo, you can ask them all on Pigeonhole. Ayan. So far, wala pa tayong natatanggap na questions. So you can scan the QR code na you can see, or you can simply click the link. Or kung wala naman na kayong question, pwede nyo nang i-type yung 6 in our chat box. Ayan. So we're seeing 6. Ayan. And we're still gonna wait. I think there are a few questions that we have. Okay. But most wala nang questions.
Yan. Gabby, I saw a question sa chat box. Baka
Net.
na-miss yung how does one develop resilience?
Okay, that's a very good question, no? So, pag sinabi kasi natin resilience, there are a lot of factors na affects a person's being resilient. So, ilambawa sa atin kasi as a culture, di ba? Parang yun yung kinagawian natin na we are branded as resilient people, na tanggap natin kung ano yung nangyayari and we move forward based on the resources that we have. Okay, so kaya natin bumalik dun sa prior level of functioning na meron tayo. Yung normal level of functioning na pinagdadaanan natin after we go through calamities, ganyan. Because I think, based lang sa experience ha, and parang resilience has a lot of factors and one of it is support. And I think in the Philippines, ang dami nating support, especially when it comes to families. So that's one thing. And then another thing is that meron tayo nung belief na kung hindi din tayo magbabounce back, di ba? Sino yung tutulong sa atin? Kaya I think super strong nung will natin na if this is the way to live, we are really going to do everything and anything to do that. And I think the challenge for us here nga is to go beyond that resilience. Kasi yung resilience, hindi natin na-solve yung problema. Alam natin na dadating yung problema ulit, pero wala tayong ginagawa para i-foresee or to be extra prepared for that problem. So one of the things na we can do, or my challenge for everyone is, since alam na nating dadating yung problema na yun, like what are the things that we can also prepare for, or what are the things that we can change in our system para ma-accommodate yun. Ayan, Joyce, ikaw ba may i-add ka kung paano i-explain yung resilience?
Oh, I'm good na, Gabby. Parang nasagot mo na siya. So, thank you so much.
Ayan, so I think itong sinabi nila, sige, I think we can ask Kelly to upload a handout para the letter format can be available for you guys in our website. So abangan nyo lang, baka i-announce namin siya, or baka next week we can also share the link with you. So we hope we answer that question. Ayan. Parang gusto ko to. Gusto mo muna sagutin, Joyce. Do you believe that pain never goes away, we live by it every day? Ako ang naiisip ko dito, yung sinasabi nilang grief. Hindi ko alam kung nakita nyo na yung illustration ng grief. Nasabi nila, akala natin, pag nakakaranas tayo ng grief or pain in life, ang nangyayari is, kung nasa lalagyan siya, lumiliit yung grief. Pero actually, hindi siya lumiliit. Like, di ba syempre, hindi naman tayo nauubusan ng things to grieve about. And at the same time, pain is, hindi natin alam kung kailan siya magsa-strike. Pero ang nangyayari kasi is that we expand. Tayo yung nag-grow. I think magandang ang metaphor yun, no, Joyce, na we grow. Kaya na-accommodate natin yung pain na yon. So yes, I believe na we live by it every day. Pero yun nga, the more na we accommodate or like the more that we grow, lumiliit siya dahil tayo yung lumalaki, hindi dahil lumalaki yung pain na yun. So I hope that helps answer this question. So maybe we can do one more for the time. Ano sa tingin nyo? Joyce, hold on. Ayan. Super interesting ng mga questions and ito, try natin. Bakit yung ibang tao alam na nga mali yung ginagawa nila or gagawin pero tinutuloy pa rin? Kaya nagkakaproblema pa rin. So this question is kind of hard to answer because for me parang kulang siya ng context. Pero based lang dito sa nakikita natin ngayon, para sa akin, being an understanding person, baka kasi hindi rin talaga nila alam explicitly na mali yung ginagawa nila. Pero like, kung ilimbawa ikaw mismo sinabi mo na, pero inulit pa rin nila yon, then I think it's not your responsibility anymore because you already told them na mali yung ginagawa nila. Okay? Pero yun nga, if it's affecting a lot of people, then maybe you can ask other people to talk to that person as well, especially if it's in the workplace. Baka kailangan nyo na ng mas higher up na kumausap sa kanya, especially if it's causing problems. Kasi 'di ba, in the workplace, kung may mga deliverables tayo, tapos hindi yun nagagawa dahil may nagkakamaling tao. So it's the responsibility of everyone to also correct kung saan nagkakamali yung tao na yun. But again, yung mga tao talagang, alam mo yun, it's hard for them to change or it's hard for them to accept that they're also wrong. So we also have to learn how to deal with those kinds of people. Ayan, so Joyce, in the interest of time, it's already 4:26. You can keep your questions coming. We are going to try to answer them. Maybe as a post or maybe as a short form video. But for now, we're gonna close the question and answer portion and move on to some announcements so that we can head on to the evaluations as well. Okay. So sabi nga natin kanina, di ba, communication is very important. Actually, one of the things that causes stress in the workplace is because we all need to develop pa our communication skills. So recently nga nakita ko, parang, hindi ko alam Joyce kung nakita mo yon, pero parang naging issue sa Twitter or sa social media na yung mga Gen Zs daw hindi marunong mag-email. Papayag ka ba nun, Joyce? Kasi parang pag mag-email daw sila sa teacher nila or mag-email sila sa mga boss nila, ang nangyayari is, isa-send lang nila yung file, walang context, walang bate, walang subject. So parang dun sa receiving person, 'di ba? Parang disrespectful 'yon kasi ano yung sinend mong file? Bubuksan ko ba 'yan? Maka-virus 'yan. 'Di ba? So we invite you na if you wanna learn more about hindi lang yung verbal communication pero how to communicate using virtual means, we invite you to enroll in our course, the Positive Communication course. Isa sa mga coverage nito is what we call the Positive Communication Roadmap. Okay? So, dito sa roadmap na to, i-share namin sa inyo yung charts na roadmap. So, para malaman nyo kung ano ibig sabihin ng charts, we invite you to enroll in our course. You can scan the QR code or you can visit our website and even just click the link that Joyce will share so that you can enroll in this course. So, it's gonna be a 4-day course and we're gonna go through your needs, communication needs, ano ba yung roadmap na tinatawag natin, and how can you use communication to communicate your contributions, di ba? So kung familiar kayo sa STAR framework, we're gonna do a deep dive on that in one of the days. And we also are going to talk about building trust. So di ba, trust, super big word. So malalaman natin dito how we can really practice trust para we can practice positive communication in our teams. And then next week, please join us again, Liang. She finished the Master of Applied Positive Psychology in the University of Melbourne, like Nikki, and she will be talking about her project, Filipino Hope, We Power and Why Power. And we're also so excited for that. Kaya register na para hindi kayo mahuli dun sa Zoom room natin. Also, if you want to stay updated, and if you enjoy the content that we had this afternoon, please do follow us on Facebook. We are facebook.com/positiveworkplacesph. So we have different thought leadership posts that can help you in your workplace. And maybe you'd be interested also to have us in one of your in-house training. So dun nyo rin makikita yung info on that. And we also have, or we are also starting some short form videos on student leadership, Filipino leadership, well-being and coaching. So follow us on TikTok. We are Positive Workplaces. And for the, huwag niyo susundan yung nasa ilalim na link. So just click on the link that Joyce will be sharing in the chat box so that you can access the evaluation form. Please do note 10, tingnan nyo kung tama yung title nung ina-answeran yung form, yung email address. So be mindful of typing in @gmail.com. Be mindful of yung uppercase or lowercase nung email addresses nyo para hindi mapunta sa, hindi mag-error yung pag-send ng certificate to you guys. And then there's also your name. Please, huwag kayong magmadaling mag-type ng name nyo and i-double check nyo before you guys submit. And of course, we'd love to hear ano pa yung mga sessions na you want us to tackle and ano pa ba yung mga, how can we improve the free webinar series, because we really love mounting these things for you. And ayan, nagiging Wednesday habit na natin siya now. Every Wednesday afternoon is our time for well-being. Ayan. So, this will be uploaded on YouTube. Tama na, Joyce? This will be on YouTube. So, ilagay nyo lang yung youtube.com/positiveworkplaces. Masishare ba natin sa kanila yung link? So, if you need to rewatch or if you want to rewatch the webinar, you can head on over to YouTube. Tapos hanapin nyo yung live na tab. So I can actually share that with you right now. So pag pumunta kayo sa YouTube, makikita nyo to. And then para mahanap nyo yung mga previous webinars natin, go to the live tab here on YouTube. Ayan, tapos makikita nyo pa yung mga ibang videos na our interns did, our previous webinars. Oh, hold on. Ayan. And our previous webinars para mapanood nyo if ever you need to review or if ever there's a topic that piques your interest. Yan. So thank you so much. The evaluation form will be open until 5:30 ba? 5 o'clock. Since maaga tayo natapos. So maybe hanggang 5:10 we'll be opening that. Ayan, so may mga nakasagot na ng evaluation form. Ayan. So we'll be opening the evaluation form until 5:10. And we hope that you had a great afternoon and see you again next week.